This lesson is over converting decimals to fractions. So first we need to talk about a little bit of terminology. We need to know what a terminating decimal is. A terminating decimal is a decimal whose digits end. They stopped. Repeating decimals, however, have a pattern in the digits that repeat forever and ever. So for instance, 1/3, if you compute that division, it ends up where the 3 just keeps repeating and repeating and going on and on and on. So of course, when we write that, we write the repeating component with that bar over the top. So to convert a fraction to a decimal, remember yesterday we divided. So how do you change a decimal to a fraction? Well, you're going to place the decimal over 1, and then you'll move the decimal in the numerator until you get a whole number. Then you move the same amount in the denominator, multiples of 10, or you can also say the number mathematically to create the fraction. Okay, so that's a lot of words. Let's just work an example. So 0.75. Hopefully you already know that that's 3/4 because it is one of the ones that you should have memorized. But this is the same thing as just writing it over a 1. However, we never want to have decimals inside a fraction. So to get rid of that, we multiply by a power of 10. Remember that when you multiply by a power of 10, however many zeros it is, that's moving the decimal over. So in this case, I've got 2 decimal places, so I want to move it over twice, which means I'm really multiplying by 100. However, in a fraction, you can't just do something to the top. It changes the number. But if you also do that exact same thing to the bottom, then it doesn't change the number any. So what we've done is we've changed this number to 75 over 100 by multiplying both the top and the bottom. So then we just have to simplify. By simplifying, it just means you take out whatever it has in common. So in this case, you can divide both the top and the bottom by 25. So since we can divide the top by 25, it becomes a 3, and the bottom by 25, it becomes a 4. So hopefully you already knew that 0.75 was 3/4, but this is the proof. So also, another way that you could do this is by being able to say the fraction or the decimal in word. This is 75 hundredths. Because it's hundredths, it should have 100 on the bottom. So do you have to put it over 1 every time? Well, no. The reason it works is because we do it that way. But I'm not really expecting you to go to that step every single time. The way I prefer to think about it is that there's 3 decimal places. So I write those numbers without the decimal. Since there's 3 decimal places, there should be 3 zeros in the bottom. So now all I have to do is simplify. So 625 is divisible by 25, and that gives me 25. Now the reason I picked 25 is because I know 1,000 is divisible by 25. When you divide that by 25, it gives you 40. All right, so unfortunately that didn't take care of everything. We still have some more that we can simplify. This is divisible by 5, just like this is divisible by 5. So 5/8 is my answer. This is 46 hundredths. So again, 2 decimal places, 2 zeros. And then you need to reduce. I'm going to reduce by 2. That gives me 23. Reduce by 2 gives me 50. There's nothing else that both of these are divisible by, so that means I'm done. On the next one, this one has a whole number. That whole number just goes in front of the fraction. This is the part that we need to put in our fraction. That is 125 thousandths. So again, 3 decimal places, 3 zeros. The 7 again just hangs out in front. I'm going to divide by 25. When you divide by 25, you get 5 and 40. Okay, still need to simplify some more. So this is going to be 7, again, just hanging out in front, and 1/8. And this is actually one of those ones that's on your chart that you should be memorizing. So hopefully you wouldn't have to do this conversion every time. This one's negative, so that just means we have a -2 hanging out front. 375 thousandths. So again, 3 decimal places, 3 zeros. I'm going to divide that by 25, which gives me 15. And again, the bottom is 40. Don't forget your -2 out front, like I almost did. I could still divide more. I can divide by 5 again. So it's going to give me -2 and 3 over 8. On the next page, you have a puzzle. Please convert each one and then place them in the order that they go.